Welcome to Good Ideas and Bad Decisions, the podcast where we fully embrace both. I'm Kat, founder of CleanCo and creative operations consultant. I make it easier for interior designers and creatives to run their businesses.
I'm Ellen, founder of Ellen Hockley Consulting and a community builder, empowering female founders to build businesses led by intuition and values. We're here to talk about the messy middle of running a business, entrepreneurship, mental health, the patterns that hold us back, and the chaos that comes with making your own path.
So, grab a coffee, a cocktail, or whatever keeps you going, and let's get started. Hi, Ellen.
Hello. Good morning, Kat. How are you? It's Thursday, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what day of the week it is, guys. It's been quite a week. Anyway, welcome back to Good Ideas and Bad Decisions. Kat and I are really excited to have Dayna here with us today. So who I've known, I think it's definitely since before my almost 3-year-old was born and I wasn't pregnant yet. So a minimum of 4 years, could be closer to 5, but I'm honestly unsure.
Dayna and I have met.
We just met
3 minutes ago.
And every assumption I had about Kat was incorrect, but I'm excited to dive in and chat with you more.
Well, that's the we learn about each other together.
Exactly. So at this point, Dayna's been through a lot of career transitions and things since we met. So I'm going to let her do her own intro.
Thank you so much. So I'm an entrepreneur. I build and buy businesses. I have had a handful of businesses since 2019. That's when I kicked off my entrepreneurial journey. Some I've sunsetted. Some have been more successful than others. And I also always am working with 1 to 3 female small business owners or entrepreneurs to help them one-on-one drive growth in their business. That's what's most near and dear to my heart with the work I do. And I'm a mom of 3. And I also have a Substack newsletter called The Business of Energy, where we explore how we can use energy as one of our go-to tools or modalities to navigate our life and drive growth in the areas that we want to drive growth. And I can dive into my experience a bit more if you'd like, or what I'm currently working on entrepreneurial-wise, but you let me know.
I want to know what you're working on right now.
Yeah, same.
So started my journey, I'll give some context. I think it matters. And I also think we're living in such an exciting time where you really, especially with AI today, we have the ability to truly design our career and our lives in a way that is custom to us. And thus, I think, gives us the ability to achieve maximum success on our terms. So I was always in corporate until I had my first baby in 2019. I ran product at one of the largest women's lifestyle digital media companies. We were acquired in 2018 by Gary Vaynerchuk. Stuck around for a little bit of time, which was an amazing experience to work with him. But I decided to take the entrepreneurial leap in 2019, launched my first business, which was a boutique branding and website and design agency. And that grew really fast. I would say from a revenue generating standpoint, that was my most successful business to date. But I hit a wall when I was going through some miscarriages after having my first, where I had to grow it and I had to scale an agency, which is a people business. I didn't have any desire to do that at the time. And it was just really not in alignment with me. So I also learned you don't want to start a business to start a business. So I was patient with myself. And in 2021, 2-ish, I'm not a crypto gal at all, but I got really excited about the prospect of the NFT technology, given my career was in publishing and working with influencers and creators, and started my second business named Unblocked. And it was a media company that was designed to educate women on technological literacy, meeting them where they were at in a way that was contextual to their life. And that was awesome. Rode the Web3 wave and again, decided to sunset that. I couldn't figure out how to monetize that business. I didn't want to build a media company. Got pregnant with my second, got quickly pregnant with my third, and went back to just advising. I used the container of the LLC of my agency and started doing one-on-one advisory work with early stage founders, not just women, men and women, across a whole slew of different industries. And that was awesome. And then one of my clients in 2023 asked me to join her as co-founder. And she was actually a woman that was in an accelerator where I met Ellen. But her product she had identified a really strong problem, which was, hey, we all have a million memories on our phone and in our camera roll to the point that they become unusable. We don't do anything with them. So we designed a technology or digital product in the form of a mobile app to help you manage your digital memories in a way that was allowed you to actually integrate them in your life. And that was awesome. She's still running it. I decided to step down when I had my third baby because while my ambitious overachiever self really thought I could handle it all, I had a 5-year-old at the time, a 2-year-old, and a 17-month-old and a newborn. I quickly realized I just didn't. It wasn't the right time. So at that point, and this is where the real pivot, no one ever thought I'd be doing this work, but I joined my husband's family business, which we had moved back from Boston area, from New York, for him to take over that business. And it's commercial cleaning. And it's not sexy, it's not cool, but it makes really good money. It's a cash flowing business. And through this journey, I learned a lot about, I learned in the startup space, I don't want to build from ground up anymore. And I don't want to raise capital to build the thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Just was not the right path for me. So since then, I've come on as we co-own it. We bought out his parents, and we have launched a holding company called CleanCo Holdings. And the growth strategy is we are slowly acquiring, and this is the acquisition and growth side is what I'm spearheading, but acquiring synergistic commercial building service businesses. So carpet cleaning, anything we contract work out for with the core business, painting, power washing, stuff of that nature. And my husband's an engineer by trade. I've always worked tech tangentially. I'm a tech nerd at heart as well. And we are having a lot of fun and we can get into AI. You guys can steer us where we go next. But I'm of the belief that AI, the biggest opportunity with AI right now, I think there's still a ton of fluff in this industry. I think there's a lot of technical barriers. I don't think the economics make sense at all of the whole space at large. But I do think that the mom and pop business, the small business owner that doesn't have the capital, that is bootstrapping or is just being so smart with how they're running the economics of their business, which is what we should do. We got lost from that, right? A little bit when capital was free.
I agree.
But I think there's such an opportunity there, and we're seeing it within our own business. So that's where we're kind of playing with how do we help other businesses with this technology. And that's where I'm at. I'm writing a little bit, and I'm trying to find the balance. I have 3 young kids and I'm ambitious. I love building. So we take it one day at a time, but that's where I'm currently at.
I love that.
I think I realized that, and maybe I missed that in the last few conversations we've had, but I don't think I realized that you were starting to acquire other sort of synergistic businesses. That's amazing.
Thank you. It's been interesting because I feel like a lot of my friends and coworkers, I was always so public in many ways online. I've never been an influencer. I'm not a content creator. I have like 2,000 Instagram followers. Nothing crazy here, folks. But I always was very good at kind of the personal brand and sharing side of things and sharing stuff. And I don't know. I've just kind of had to pull back there. I don't have time for it. I haven't loved being there as a consumer. So a lot of people have said, we have no idea. What are you doing? So that's why I was so excited to chat with you guys. Maybe we can get some clips of this. We'll see,
Wow. I mean, I have so many questions, but first, I purposefully do not work with my husband because I think that I would murder him. I mean, I love him so very dearly, but that would be a challenge for me. My parents ran a business together, and as the business started to grow and they needed more office space, they had offices on opposite sides of the building so that they didn't have to actually interact during they did completely different work, and they didn't need each other except for certain things. And so they didn't need to interact, and that was how their marriage survived. So I'm always super impressed when people are like, oh yeah, I work all day with my spouse. I'm like, I would not survive.
I relate to that as someone who just started a custom furniture company with my partner and our friend. So I realized, and I also am doing some fractional work for a company that he works for in town. So we live together. We have a shop together, and also the one place I go into the office, he's also there. So we
it's
only
fun until it's not, I always say, right?
Yeah. So that's so fun.
So wild.
But
I think, listen, it's not for everyone. We've known each other since high school. We are not high school sweethearts, but we were best friends first. And I think I would be lying if I said we didn't. We were very close to getting separated. I'm an open book. If you guys have not learned that, Ellen certainly knows. probably like 2021, 2022, because he was my developer for all the websites I was building at the time. And we have done a lot of work to get to this place, but our skills are very complementary, especially in this business. I don't want to be the operator of this business. I can help you all day long build out structure, frameworks, all the operational workflows, but I don't want to be boots on the ground of this business, and that's what he does. So so far it's worked, but I think, we try to carve out time for ourselves, for date night, I recently said to him, babe, we can't talk about dinner we can't talk about work
Business
or our
at
kids
dinner.
when we're at this dinner or when we're doing stuff for us, because you just so easily, the conversation segues into kids or work.
Yes.
So we'll see. Like everything else, we take one day at a time, but I understand that it's definitely not for everyone.
I'm just impressed. Kat, you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, I feel like there's some overlap for us, Dayna, because especially with you acquiring these businesses that, are involved in the build process, right? Are you through the cleaning business, is it primarily residential, or are you also doing commercial for
Just commercial.
Just commercial? Okay.
Yeah.
So are you
It's
involved
only
in
been commercial. It's a 40-year-old business, and it's always
Okay.
only been commercial. We would not touch residential.
Okay,
And
that's
I can
interesting.
double tap on
So
that if
are
you question
you
it.
involved in, let's say, like construction cleans, like
Yep.
during
Our main two areas are, so a lot of the our biggest contracts are a lot of big universities and public institutions in the greater
Okay.
Boston area. So Rhode Island School of Design, Brandeis, Wellesley, Wheaton College. And then we started getting we have our first contract at a pretty elite private high school, which is
Interesting.
also really, we might lean into that more.
Yeah.
And then post-construction clean. So we work with a
Yes.
lot of big commercial
I
development.
had a feeling that's where that money's at. It's so necessary. Everyone needs it. There's so much build industry is never going away. So if you can get the person that they're calling for construction clean, okay, that's awesome. That was my
Totally.
next
And that's what was interesting. When we moved home, it was such a risk and it was so foreign, but it just intuitively felt right for me. And I didn't understand why at the time. But then COVID hit. And again, this has been such a real life crash course of building businesses, how the nuts and bolts that go into building a business. But when COVID hit, I was like, that was another thing that I realized, like, oh shit, this is a recession proof business. Like, there's really people we crushed in COVID, not because we got those COVID checks, but because we were sanitizing everything. So they were a non-essential worker. Is that the term?
Essential worker. They were an essential worker.
Yeah. It's so crazy how quickly we black out COVID when it was like
right
situation.
It does feel like it was
the commercial, what I focused with Nick on, and I feel really strongly and bullish on, is what are the areas of these commercial service operation businesses that we can lean into that's super rinse and repeat. So post-construction, it's very simple. They finish it, it looks the same every time for the most part. We don't really want to touch facility management. The colleges are kind of clunky. They have the money, but operationally they all look different. So that's when I really got involved in. We were thinking about growth. He wanted to lean into daycares or more janitorial services. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good business. But in my mind, I'm like, but you're telling me if we could just like focus on dorm room paint refreshes. After every school year, they paint all those dorm rooms.
And all those carpets get cleaned.
It's a square box, all the colleges. So a big chunk of our revenue every year comes from we basically turn over the schools, turn over the dorm rooms. You got this, girl. And so that was kind of the thinking. We're already turning over these dorm rooms from a cleaning standpoint. Now we can say, hey, we can actually also help you paint those rooms. It's all under one contract. The colleges are dealing with one person. So that's how we're thinking about it. Where can we systemize it? Where can we lean into these rinse and repeat services? And then AI fits really nicely with this as well when you kind of look at that side of the conversation.
But I also think too, like you've got all these schools that are like carpeted, like you can do all of those things.
Yeah.
Are you hoping to expand like outside of sort of this like Northeast bubble? Like, would you want to go national? Or do
We'll
you think
see.
this
We've talked about it, and I stumbled upon a company through Cody Sanchez.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with her?
No.
No.
So she's a good follow for my fellow entrepreneur friends. Her whole thing, she's in
Mhm.
private equity, and her whole thing is boring businesses. So she
Mm.
got out of Goldman and bought a laundromat, and she realized how cash
Yes.
flowing that business was and how easy it was to operate by nature of
Yeah.
what she'd been doing before. Started buying more, and now she's like, does the courses and all the things, and has a venture company. But she talks a lot about buying these boring businesses.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've always thought laundromats and like parking garages is where it's
Totally.
at.
But she
Yeah.
bought, and that's like exactly. So
Yeah.
she bought a company that is more residential services, exactly kind of what we're doing, but residential.
Mm-hmm.
Hard
And
no.
these guys are basically building out a franchise model,
Interesting.
which I think is interesting. So we've kind of talked about that. That's a different beast. It's not my area of expertise, but as far as national versus staying local, um, we'll see. I think it just depends how things scale. Right now, I think operationally, we are finally kind of we came into a very old school industry and
Right.
very old school mom and pop business. Like we came home, we're like, we're just gonna implement technology everywhere, and we quickly realized like these people don't use email. Like
Right.
they're not going to be like submitting digital work orders. Like they don't even fucking email. Like they start like my husband's on the
Mhm.
phone all fucking day with these boomers, just like
Yeah.
um but so I think right now we've finally gotten the operations on lock. We're using there's a whole digital underbelly from an operation standpoint.
Sure.
So do we then take this to another state or region? Not yet, and I don't know if we'll need to, but we're not opposed to it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just curious to my Danny's grandfather had a national roofing distribution company, and
Yeah.
so I sort of think about it in whereas like my parents had a very local real estate property management. I mean, it was like in 3 or 4 states, but not national. And
Yeah.
so I think about these things from both perspectives, and so I think it's so interesting how like there is obviously the potential to go national or even just like larger regional
Yeah.
versus like a smaller regional. I met somebody recently who had similarly like she'd been an attorney and then decided she wanted to get into entrepreneurship and bought a company and then like in the health services space and then over the next 10 years or so basically bought up all the other small businesses that were essentially what she did and then
Did like a roll
started
up.
like and then she sold it. I don't
Yeah.
know if it IPO'd, but then she sold it. And so it's sort of interesting to kind of think about like what all those different options are, but also depends on like your capacity. You do have 3 small children. Like what do you want to be doing? Do you want to just like, really sort of implement the technology and see how it flows and then say this is really cool, this is repeatable, like do we franchise it? Do we sell it? Do we, find whatever our next venture is?
Absolutely. And I think if I've learned anything, I am a big thinker. I have a lot, like, I'm very ambitious, but if anything, I have so many ideas. But
Mhm.
if I've learned anything in the last 7 years, it's that there is so much power in simplicity and focus. And so
Yeah.
that's where, with this business, to your point, it just all that I believe is important to me at this point, and this is like my life and my kids and all the things aside,
Sure.
is we want to be smart with how many levers we're trying
Yep.
to grow. So right now the focus is other localized
Right.
small businesses.
That already have contracts in place that
Yeah,
you can just sort of like basically swoop in and be like, I'm just going
take
to
their revenue
continue
and
this and then sort of slowly, I'll take, one new private school this year that does this and one
yeah.
new university that does this and just sort of slowly build that out.
And the other side of this, for anyone that is interested in this path in some capacity, is to your point with the woman that you just mentioned. This is the private equity model, right? We buy all the
Right.
dentists, all the dental practices, or all the daycares. Why? Because then we can roll them. We look at them. We get all of that revenue to add to
Mhm.
our bottom line. But then operationally, we can centralize things, which just
Correct.
allows us to cut down on costs. So
Yep.
instead of having 5 businesses and we're paying for 5 QuickBooks accounts,
Yep. You
we
pay
have
for
one
one.
QuickBooks account, etc. So,
Mhm.
and the other thing that, and this is very Cody Sanchez for people that follow her, or if you go down her content path, right now there's a real opportunity with these boomers that want to sell businesses. And
Agreed.
so it has given us a lot of it's given us a lot of flexibility from a financing standpoint. They are actually more interested, many of them, instead of me saying, okay, we know that these commercial services businesses are the valuation is based off of 3x revenue post EBITDA. And so we'll pay you X amount to buy you out based on that multiple.
Sure.
I can either give you $3 million or I can say to them, over the next 10 years, I will give you whatever 3 million divided by 10 is, 300,000 a year or less. Note, zero down. We'll pay you out over the next 10 years. And we'll also build in an incentive structure. So if we increase the revenue after we purchase it by 10%, you get 1% of that incremental revenue, et cetera. And they're really interested in it because a lot of them don't have a fucking nest egg. And we all know we're adults now, we're big kids, right? Like you see how fast those lump sums of money go, even if you're smart. Yeah. And a lot of them don't want to put this lump sum in the market right now because it's so volatile. So I think there's a big opportunity. And I think to your point, there's a lot of, it could be a furniture company for you, Kat, or it could be like another woodworker that like they maybe want to stay on 2 years and help you create furniture. I'm sorry, I don't know enough about your business, so I'm just spitballing here. But I think there is so much opportunity and value to both sides of the partnership right now, which is interesting.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it's so interesting because I actually just met with a woman last week, 2 weeks ago, who somebody put her in touch with me because she's interested in potentially selling her business. And she was like, I don't even know what that looks like. And I was like, full transparency here. I'm not a broker. I have sold businesses of my own in the past. Like I can walk you through what I did, but it's just so interesting because she's sort of in that boomer age range. She's like, I'm starting to think about like what my retirement looks like. I'm starting to think about like, I have a kid that's, I can't remember if she's graduating from high school or college. Like I'm taking care of my parents and I want to kind of understand what next steps are. And I think that there are so many people in so many businesses who don't know, they have no idea that they can sell their business or like don't understand what that looks like or like haven't even considered that might be next steps for them.
Because
and so
it's not, it hasn't been, like they're
for a lot
not,
of people, it isn't.
they're too small for they're too small. They don't make sense for venture. They're too small for private equity. The family office isn't interested because someone has to get in and get their hands dirty to figure out how you grow that said business. But yeah, I think it's an interesting, exciting time. And funny enough, I'm so excited for a few reasons. I've been in a little bit of a hermit state the last few years, and I haven't really talked about a lot of this, but I'm excited. You guys are kind of pushing me back out there again, so thank you for popping my cherry. Just kidding.
We're happy to do it.
PG pod. But I get really fucking jacked up about this for women.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of us think that it's scary. It's like buying and selling businesses by design sounds complicated. It's not.
Yes.
There's complexities, of course. But I think I think many of us are intimidated, and I was as well. But as soon as I started getting in there and getting my hands dirty, I realized it's not anyone can figure it out, especially if I can, and especially as women, we're so fucking smart and resourceful and all the things. So I hope there's women listening to this that feel inspired to buy a business from a boomer.
Yes, and if you have questions, just reach out to Dayna.
Yeah. And honestly, you guys are welcome. Like if you have any conversations with anyone at all, feel free to pump them my way. Like I love talking about this stuff. Not even from a business like client standpoint.
I want to go buy a business now. I'm like, with all my
I
extra
know.
free time,
Yeah, right? I'm so inspired. Okay, but I want to, as an ops person, my brain always goes to logistics first.
Yeah.
And in terms of starting to acquiring other businesses, everyone has their own process. A lot are analog, like you alluded to, like pen and paper and phone.
Yep.
So what has been your process to kind of get all of these disparate companies together on a similar system, or at least a system that works the majority of the time?
So the first part of this, and I don't think this is exactly where it stemmed from, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't in a very kind of advantageous situation. I haven't had to go find these businesses. I came in and I said, hey, husband, Nick, we're talking about growth. Tony, who you outsource that hundreds of thousands of dollars of carpet cleaning a month, we should buy that. He's 75. He's probably doing 450,000 in revenue a year. Very doable from a purchasing standpoint. Like in the businesses I was
somebody who's like making $1 billion a year.
Yeah, like this seemed cheap to me at the time. Not that it's cheap, but so as far as a pipeline of who to buy, we had that at our disposal. That's something that I haven't had to really deal with. But I think this is where I just lean into what your networks and the space that you are an expert in some way, shape, or form. I think you can get creative there. As far as operationally, so we are in the midst of integrating our first company, and it was a very natural integration, again, given the nature of the work. It was work we were contracting out. So we have talent that can do the function of set the carpet cleaning machine, right? But what we are doing, and it will vary per business, is we are keeping the owner on for 2 years. So he is going to serve as kind of our core operator. When you run the numbers of buying any business, you're going to want to run the numbers to see how much cash or profit you can expect to take, owner's profit. You're going to want to run the numbers with a full-time operator at the helm. If that can be the person running it, that is a big win. But this is where it's just like investing in a founder or partnering with a co-founder. I think the people you have to be, we are trying to be really smart about who we're getting into bed with, because it is a relationship, right? So that's the first half. We have someone that's an expert in their business. They can answer any questions. There's a deep due diligence phase, from the numbers to talking to employees to understanding their current workflows, bottlenecks, etc. And then that's we're kind of figuring out what departments we're going to consolidate or merge, but certainly will be payroll. Right. So it won't be payroll. It will be basically like, the way we're thinking about them structurally is we have the holding company, and then we'll have cleaning company, and that will be rolled up under the holding company, but it will have its own P&L. But then shared services, so like back office admin, accounts payable, accounts billables.
Right, so you don't need one at every single business.
Right. So we're really trying to be smart with structuring it. So like HR is a good example, right? Everyone at CleanCo Holdings is going to have the same onboarding packet. We have the same rules and all the things that come kind of at a high level corporate culture standpoint, or come from, or at that level. I can't speak. Well, I can, but that didn't make sense. But then, of course, when we think about, okay, now the cleaning company and the carpet cleaning company, they have, there's obviously we branch off to, there needs to be subtle differences in how we train those people, right? You're going to train a cleaner different than someone that's pushing one of the big carpet cleaning machines. So we're taking it basically kind of one step at a time, and just really trying to be smart with where does it make sense to consolidate these operations within the business, with the goal of operational efficiencies and saving money to make more money on our bottom line. And where does it make sense to have this business operationally run on its own?
Even as like, just like even deeper than that in terms of like technology. All of the businesses, are they all operating on the same-ish technology, so they all kind of easily communicate and talk to each other? Or is it,
or will they?
Like, that is the goal. That is the goal. We are not there by any means, but that is 100% the goal. And then if you want to get super fucking nerdy here, for anyone that this inspires for their own business, is if we talk about the AI conversation, and again, I think we're in an AI hype cycle. I think it is a very powerful tool, but I think it is overhyped in many ways, especially for business owners and operators. AI is only as powerful as the data that it sits on top of. So yes, we have these huge large language models, but we're very interested in robotics, because I'm not talking about like humanoid robots, but if someday we want that floor carpet cleaner to run by itself like a Zumba, we have to feed it data from the floor plans, from all of our clients, etc. So we've been working on the back end, and I don't know if you guys are, how techy you are, but there's a term called RAG, and it is essentially like, it's not a database technically, but it is basically like what you would build as your own large language model for your business that sits on top of a large language model. So that's where we're thinking about the consolidation of a database as well as the technology and the systems that we use that sit on top of it, knowing that AI is operating a lot of that, and AI is going to be stronger when it sits on our proprietary data.
Sure.
That's how we're really focused on that right now. But again, I'm selling us as further along than we are. My husband's going to listen to this and be like, "This is, you gave them the dream. We are chipping away, and this is the goal." But
I mean,
we
you
could
gotta
hit
start
roadblocks.
somewhere,
So
right? You
don't
gotta
implement
start.
this in
Right.
5 guys.
It's powerful to start with the vision because you know where you're going.
And I guess maybe this is like a naive question, but I guess I just want to ask for clarification. So as you're thinking about sort of like utilizing in the future this potential or these potential AI models, would it be something that like, okay, you bring in a new client and
Yep.
you're like, okay, as part of the onboarding, I need, all of your layouts, all of the square footage of all of your rooms, understanding where everything is, and then that automatically gets
Yeah.
input into each sort of like client file in your system. And then you send this automated carpet cleaner out, and it already has all that information in there because when this client was onboarded, you like absorbed all that information. Is it like those kinds of like that's probably like a piece of it, but is
That
it like
is
that kind
correct.
of
So there's
stuff?
two sides of it.
Okay.
So I have no desire to get into building robotics. To be clear,
Sure.
that's just so capital
Weird.
intensive and not my thing or area.
You
I'm
can
nerdy,
hire
but
my
not that
5-year-old.
nerdy.
You can
But
hire my
there's
5-year-old. He's at a
one,
robotics
like,
class camp this week.
exactly. We there's part one of this is we have built an internal proprietary, what we call our internal operating system.
Okay.
So yes, eventually the onboarding, the PDFs of all the floor plans of the school, they
Right.
would be in their own subfolder, and it's all, we have the file structure or kind of the data brain intelligence layer of all that
Okay.
information to better do the job for these clients, or more
Okay.
effectively do the jobs for these
Sure.
clients. And then also there's the operation consolidation. So part of this centralized operating system is a digitized work order management system. So a new job comes in
Sure.
with existing client or someone new, a project manager goes and does a site visit. That is
Right.
all uniform across all of our so all of our project managers, our team, and then with different businesses, it will all be kind of the same workflow. So that's part one. Part two, and this is a little TBD if this is where it will go, but there's an opportunity to also sell our data. So let's think about someone is going and building a company's building a robot to clean bathrooms. Well,
Okay.
that robot needs to be trained. So theoretically, if we have data on cleaning bathrooms, all the data over a year we collect, we guys say, guys, how long it takes to, I mean, ideally you can like put them in a suit and it can all be fully digitized, but this is what how they trained their robots in their warehouses, is they created these super high-tech suits that all of the warehouse workers wore for a set amount of time. I don't know the specifics. They had cameras on them, they had sensors, and collected all the data of how long it takes them to pack something, to put it there, where, whatever, all the things, and then fed that to the robot. So in my mind, if we can collect all this operational data, could we potentially sell it to a robotics company when these robots continue to get cheaper and more specific for a task? I'm of the belief we're not going to have humanoid robots in our houses. I think robots are not going to even look like robots for us. I think like you might have like a device like the Roomba in your bathroom that cleans things, but I don't think
That scrubs the floor or whatever. That's literally what my kid made this week. I swear to God, that is what my child made at camp this week. He came home on Tuesday with a scrub brush that he had connected all these electrical wires that had a motor on it that you put on the floor and it scrubbed.
That's so
I'm
cute.
not even joking.
Prototype. Let's go.
Oh my God, proprietary information.
That's so wild. I love it.
But I think it's like, there's so many ways you can riff off this and think about it. But I think back to one of the first things I said, literally anything is figure outable today. Any idea, and you don't even have to worry about feeling dumb. You can just go and talk to Claude and just talk through it. And I think that's exciting, especially for us entrepreneurial folks. But I think as AI shifts the job markets, and who knows what that will look like in the timelines. But I think more people are going to be pushed into figuring out what their version of entrepreneurship looks like, which I think is exciting. But I think we need to widen the scope of entrepreneurship, and I think I hope we can kind of retool things so there's different tiers of between corporate and like full-blown entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We'll
so Dayna, I just
yes.
met you, right?
Yes.
Ellen knows you deeply, but just from everything you've shared with me, all of your entrepreneurial ventures and just your current venture, and I mean, you're clearly a visionary. You're someone that sees.
Thank you.
It's true.
I have good foresight. I'm a little bit of a. We haven't talked about my other side, the witch side, but
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about her witchy side.
Kat, ask your question. Ask your question.
Okay, we might have to switch gears on that, but
I
guess my thought was that's clear to me as someone that just met you. I'm just curious, like at the core of all of this, what drives you? Like, what's the connecting factor for all of these different ventures?
Ooh, I love that.
I truly, one, I care deeply about people. I always have been I'm so curious about other humans, and my brain does. I've learned as I've gotten older and wiser, my brain does work a little differently in the sense I have good foresight, but I'm very good at connecting dots in a way that I always thought everyone thought this way or their brain worked this way, but with people and with things. So the more confidence I got in that being one of my gifts, kind of this intangible gift, if you will, the more I just got so excited and passionate and lit up by building things that could help other people. And the more I have been on this journey of doing Dayna, I got so passionate about this belief that we are all designed differently. And I truly think the best way to build a life that is best for you and your family is to design it around your blueprint and the season you're in, which I think is especially important for women. But I'm so passionate about helping others figure this out, especially other women, because I just think we're told, I think even if you look at the entrepreneurial situation for women or conversation in a microcosm, so many women think, and Ellen and I saw this firsthand with an accelerator we were in. I didn't know half the shit I know about the economics of business, building businesses, et cetera, when I did it. And they were wonderful. But I get a little mad when I think about it now because the narrative for a few years there was start a business, ladies, go get venture funding. Even if you're like an organic tampon brand, makes no sense for that business. We all know that. And I just think that we're all so uniquely different. And I just want everyone to design the life that's best for them. And I think for me, that was certainly building things and the entrepreneurial path. I was also owned by I was raised by entrepreneurs. My grandfather was a very successful entrepreneur, and I think once you taste it, you can't go back because it gives you. It's the hardest thing in the world. Don't get it twisted, as you guys know, but the highs and the seeing the impact you make and watching yourself build the thing. I don't know how I'd ever go back to corporate America. So that's a long-winded way to answer your very simple question, but I'm just passionate about helping others and people designing life on their terms, which I think for a lot of us, that comes with figuring out what career looks like in a different way than we all were raised to believe career looked like.
Agreed.
And I was just never I always wanted to be as a little girl and as in college, all I wanted was to be the girl that knew from a young age that she was going to be a doctor or a dentist or whatever, pick your insert, the thing that you're so jacked about. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I had a lot of shame and just what the fuck's wrong with you? A lot of negative self-talk for a lot of years. And now I feel like we're kind of living in the golden era of, wow, you can actually mobilize anything if you want to.
Yeah, I really relate to that as someone that's in creative ops. No one knows what that means. And for so long, I'm just I wish there was a ladder for me. I wish there was a logical next step that I'm okay, let me do this. And then I do that. And then I do that. But similar to you, Dayna, my brain doesn't work like that. And I needed to go zigzag around before I had the confidence similarly to start my own business. And now I'm well, this is what it is.
Totally. And I think it's funny. We'll set up a separate time to chat because I have so many questions for you as well. And we might be able to collab depending on what you're up to these days. But I think for me, I will always be really I started at the Weather Channel, like so corporate, my career, and I slowly got more and more to the startup world. And PureWow, which was the media company that I worked for that was acquired, we were like the Post Daily Candy newsletter. Do you guys even, Ellen, you remember? I don't know how old you are, Kat. You look young.
I remember.
Ellen, you look young too, but I know we're similar in age. Everyone looks young here. But I was thrown into this early stage startup. I had sales and ad sales background, but I quickly learned that no one knew what they were doing. And also the people that are going to succeed, why I succeeded in corporate America and who I saw succeed both in entrepreneurship and corporate America are people that were just curious. And like, I ended up running the design team, the engineering team, and the product management team. I have never fucking even opened a design. So and at that point, like never had I never had Adobe on my computer. Like I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, but I was thrown in the ring and I figured it out. And then I watched them try to hire people around me and they all got fired because like the world we are living in is just it's so uncertain right now. It always has been, of course, but we are in this moment in time where things are being molded to look different. And that's an opportunity. It's so stressful. And I think it's one of the things that makes entrepreneurship the most challenging right now, but it's also one of the things that is the most exciting, where the most opportunity is.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Whew.
Some truth bombs over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm good for.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I feel like we're dancing around this a little bit, but the one question we do have prepared at the end is if there are any parting words of wisdom, anything that you haven't touched on before, or anything that you just really want to drive home to kind of tie this into a bow. Again, I feel like
this is going to be like personal development 101, Dayna, but just I hope that everyone do the thing that you feel called to. And sometimes, truthfully, the journey I have been, this is not just like start the business. I have had to I had to put my ambition on hold the last few years because my whole life was in transition and I didn't know how to show up as that version of Dayna as a mother and with all the other change. And I was getting this little whisper. I had this whisper for years, like, all right, just take the pause. Don't say yes to this. And I didn't fucking listen. And I finally listened. And the best stuff was built. I wouldn't be doing the work with my husband.
Right.
Without a doubt. Like maybe I'd be doing some consulting for him. But my words of wisdom are that everyone, again, and I've already said this, everyone is different. You are fucking different and you are your own unique blueprint. No one else looks like you. You were put here for a reason, all of us, and life is short. Like, not to bring this to a dark place, but I have 4 people in my life. I'm not super close to them, thankfully, but that are my age, early 40s, late 30s, that just like randomly got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer or MS or life is finite and we need everyone right now. Like the world is fucking flipped on its head. We need your idea. We need your voice. We need your good vibes, your light. Like
I just got chills.
Step it up, girl. And guys, whoever's here, I don't know if this is mostly women, but yeah, that's it. I think, and that's where I've been. I'm like, I don't want to be on social media, but at the same time, I know my voice can help people and it's this push and pull and we're all figuring it out. But that's the other thing. No one has it figured out. Especially in 2026. No one knows the future of the economy, of AI, the war in Iran, anything. Education, like that's my another passion right now is the education system with like the Chromebooks and stuff for my kids. Like it is the wild, wild west. And if someone tells you to know what the future's going to look like, they're lying to your face, but that's your opportunity, right? In your own life, in your own micro or macro way. And that's really what I wish for everyone is that they are down to enter that journey. It's hard, but it's the fucking best if you are brave enough.
Love it.
Love it. Yes, mic drop. So on that note, if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Dayna, Dayna, DeStef, DESTEF. You can email me directly, Dayna, Dayna, at The Day Consulting. And all of this is centralized on my personal brand website, which is Dayna, Dayna, DeStefano, DESTFANO.com.
And your Substack?
Oh, and my Substack. Oh my God, I'm so bad. The Business of Energy, which like all the links are on my website, my Instagram, but the Business of Energy is the Substack. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. That's what's crazy is that's the thing I'm the most passionate about, and I always forget to talk about it. I put it on the back burner when above all else. So I don't know what that means, but I'll have to do. That's a conversation I'll have with myself.
We're gonna take some deep work on that one.
I love
well,
it.
ladies, this was a pleasure. I can't wait to listen.
Thank you.
And
thank you for being
Ellen,
here.
I'll talk to you soon. I won't. We're just gonna close this up and then I'll let you gag. But thank you so much, ladies. That's all.
Love it. Oh, thanks, guys. Great chatting.
Talk to you all soon. Bye. That's it for this episode of Good Ideas and Bad Decisions. Thanks for hanging out with us.
If you love this conversation, we would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode with a fellow business owner.
Until next time, keep making good ideas and bad decisions.